Hello, guys, and welcome back to a new series that I'm going to do basically since there is no MLS or FC Cincinnati action in the foreseeable future from, now until the season starts. I'm going to do a series where I take players' jersey numbers, or for the free agents and the rookies, their jersey numbers from their team either in college or the last team they played for, and putting it to a day. Like Zico Bailey, number 16, would be 16 days until opening kickoff. Brenner would be 9 days. Barrial would be 31 days. Acosta would be 11 days. You get what I'm saying. And since there isn't going to be any this week, there won't be any until next week, have decided to do the general manager and the coach, Chris Albright and Pat Noonan, in this video. Sometimes there will be two players in one video because they wore the same number, because you have a guy on the roster who wears that number, and then like a rookie or a free agent signee that wore that same number at his last team. So sometimes you get two in one video. And basically for the players, I'm going to be doing what I expected them to do during the season. So I'm going to do that same thing with Pat Noonan and Chris Albright. What I expect them to do for the rest of free agency, and what I expect them to do, coaching during the season, what their expectations are record-wise and player performance and stuff like that. So, start off with Chris Albright. Chris Albright, in my opinion, he's a pretty good general manager. I mean, he's made a splash in free agency. He's gotten us some good free agents. I mean, you got Badgie. We might re-sign Alvis Powell. It's a maybe. You have Ray Gaddis, who when I'm recording this is his birthday. Happy birthday, Ray. Ray Gaddis, who when he retired was playing as one of the best defenders in his conference. I was about to say in all of MLS, but like he was one of the best defenders on his team. So I mean, he's been out of MLS for a year, so maybe he doesn't come back with that same production. But if he comes back with similar production, that improves our defense a whole lot. I mean, Badgie's a good offensive player. I'll get into those guys' expectations. And Alec Khan looks like he's going to be a good goalie. Like Chris Albright, he's made good signings and trades and stuff like that. Tried to bring good players to FC Cincy, and he drafted the nation's leading goal scorer and the nation's best goalie in the same draft, and one of college's best defensive backs, all in the same draft. That's a pretty good draft from Chris Albright, as long as all these guys pan out how they're supposed to. So, Chris Albright, my expectations are probably not of in-season moves, because the team isn't very good, and it's not like there are many in-season moves that we really need to make. I mean, maybe if like Zico Bailey is underperforming, because I know there's a lot of pressure on him this year, or if we just want to sell someone or whatever because they're underperforming, maybe I could see him making moves. But I don't think during the season he's going to move anyone out. Maybe sign a few guys if there's injuries, stuff like that. That's possible, but I see him mainly doing his damage in free agency in the offseason and the draft, so I don't expect much from him during the season as far as moving players go. Our coach, Pat Noonan, another former player. I expect a record of double our wins from last year. Now, if we won like 20 games, then that wouldn't even be possible, but we won 4 games. So I think asking for double of those wins isn't too much. If you can't do the math, double of those wins, that is 8 wins. All I want is like 8 wins. I would say more draws than losses, but that's demanding too much. Like 10 draws, and then the rest can be losses. 8 wins, 10 ties, the rest can be losses. Somewhere around there. Just improvement from last season is all I'm looking for from Pat Noonan, because I think he's a good coach, and we at least need someone to stay here for a little bit, stay here for a few years instead of new coach and then fired, and then new coach and then fired. Like, we haven't really found a consistency at coaching, and I feel like that is a problem with this club. So I think Pat Noonan could be a breath of fresh air for the players and the fans, and I think he can be a guy who stays here for 3 or 4 years. I think he's a good coach. I think the season might not be as painful as last year. Do I think we're going to be competing for a playoff spot? No. But if he stays here and Chris Albright stays here, I think in 3 or 4 years, more 5 or 6 years, we could be. And that kind of turnaround with this team would be very much appreciated from the fans. It'd be pretty impressive. So I think Pat Noonan, his expectations are to win more games than last year, develop the young guys well, let the veterans, still do their thing. If a guy's underperforming, maybe, take him out of the lineup and put a young guy in there. See what happens, Just be a good coach. And don't get fired before the year is even over. I think that's my expectations, at least. Some people could say the record is too lofty, but considering we have souped up our defense a decent amount, and we lost multiple games, if we held on to if the games ended at halftime last year, we would definitely have more wins than we had. And with our defense being better, we might be able to hold on to those leads that we had last year now. And I think we'll be able to at least win, 4 more games than last year. I think this team's definitely more improved from the team last year. We don't have a big superstar. We have some in the making with our rookies, but we don't have a big superstar yet. Maybe Brenner. Brenner's kind of a candidate. But I think at general manager and coach, I think we're set for a few years with 2 guys who know what they're going to do. They have a plan, and the plan should work. And we as fans just need to sit and enjoy the ride as much as we can. I mean, it might suck a little bit, but I mean, those wins are going to feel really good. The end goal, really, don't finish in last place again. No wooden spoons this year. That should be the hope, is no wooden spoons this year. That's my hope, at least. Because it gives us some pride, and we still get a good draft pick. So, I think it's good. But anyways, see you guys next time. As always, I'm not funny, and the next one is 36. So, Thursday or Friday of next week, I believe. And then once we get past 36, there's a lot more. Once we get into the lower numbers, in the 20s and 10s, there's a whole week just filled with guys. So you guys will be getting some FC Cincy content. You guys will be getting enough FC Cincy content to last you until February 26th. So stay subscribed if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Subscribe if you're new. We make FC Cincy content, Pacers content, as you see, Colts content, Red Wings content, Detroit Tigers content, Purdue content, Kyle Larson content for NASCAR. Purdue is for both college basketball and college football. And like I said, FC Cincy, which is the newest addition to, all of this. That's why there isn't really much in the background. I have all my autographs and all that. Michael Pittman Jr., Bob Probert, Andrew Luck down in the corner here. Don't worry, I'll get some FC Cincy stuff. Right now, the only stuff I have is this t-shirt, and I have a Brenner jersey. More jerseys are on the way. More jerseys will be on the way. Acosta. Costa is next up on my list. I really like him. He's enjoyable, and I like it when he yells at refs. See you guys next time.
Just got unlucky on a few plays tonight. You know, one of those plays, I thought he was standing still, but he just hit the shit out of that one guy, and the guy went flying. They blew the whistle, and they called it on him.